Good. Hey guys, complex for tomorrow is going to be hang power snatch into a hang snatch. So we're going to go over the position or the wave with the PVC. You need a beat. Okay, so we're just going to get set up in the hang position. If it's noted like high hang, low hang, that's going to kind of, determine where the bar is going to be at. We're just going to go with the hang. So that's anywhere in between the knee and the hip. The way we would want everyone set up would be with the bar about right at the knee. You see B just pulled his scap down, his shoulders down and back, keeping them nice and tight. If you look at his position here, weights on his whole foot, go ahead and rock forward a little bit. Weights on his toes, go ahead and rock back. Weights on his heels, find that nice middle median ground. Boom. Okay, weights on the whole foot, big toe should be on the ground, heels should be on the ground. Shoulders over the bar, come into an upright position, shoulders behind the bar. There you go, knees way forward. It's kind of like wanting to be a power position, but really not. So there you go. That is not a hang either. So for the hang, for you to get leverage over the bar, we're gonna want the shoulders over the bar. From there, you actually think of it as like a pivot of the hips and the knees. To go ahead and go back down position 3. We'll say this is position 3. Go ahead and look straight ahead. There you go. So this is position 3. We're going to pivot back to position 4, which is the power position. Basically, the hips come forward, knees come forward, weight stays on the whole foot. Good, coming into that upright torso. Knees are forward, weight's on the whole foot. From here, we're going to extend the hips, shrug, and then pull the bar and then catch in a power position. So again, the power snatch is just catching the snatch with your hips above your knees or above parallel. Okay, let's go ahead and do one quick, B. Good. All right, so the next part of it is going from the hang again into a full snatch. So the only difference here is where we're going to be catching the bar. We want to try to catch it with our arms fully extended, hips below the knees in a full squat, and then standing up. Right, so there's a couple of different points that we want to hit on in here besides making sure that we're hitting the right positions, we're in the right positions when we're going through the movement. We'll go over those real quick. All right, so we're going to try to address some issues. One of the first things that we're going to work on is where the weight's at whenever you are in the pull. Obviously, if you're working from the floor, the weight's going to be moving a little bit back and forth. We're starting from the hang, so that will kind of alleviate some of that, and you'll be able to pinpoint like where you're kind of shifting your weight back or shifting your weight forward. So we'll start with being on the toes a little bit too early. So B, go ahead and set up in the hang. Good, looking straight ahead. Good, shoulders back and tight. So as soon as we start to pull the bar into the hip, sometimes we get a little bit impatient and try to get our hips into the bar a little bit too soon. If you see here, coming on the toes too soon, and that's actually what tends to happen. Obviously, that was a little bit of an exaggeration, but whenever you have your weight going forward, on your toes, the weight's pulling you forward. Your hips are going to have to come into the bar, and then you're going to jump forward also. I mean, if you're strong enough, or if you have that technique down, nothing wrong with it, but you really want to work on the position of trying to stay with the weight on the whole foot, through the midfoot, all the way until you get to, or into triple extension, which is where you should actually be getting on those toes, trying to get the bar as high as possible before you start to pull underneath it. The next one would be getting back to the heels a little bit too much, right? So that's basically would be it. And this is actually, we were just talking about it. B is like, this is what I do, and I see this a lot. So it's kind of the same thing. You're rocking back, and then you're going to have to rock forward to kind of compensate for the position that you're in, where your weight's at, right? So you want to find that happy median. And a lot of times here too, if your weight's on your heels, you're actually going to jump back just a little bit, and then that bar is going to be forward. You're going to leave it out front, and it's going to make it a little bit harder to catch unless you can pull it back very well. Be strong enough, you can do that. So finding that happy median, one thing to kind of alleviate that would be go through the pull process just from the hang to the hip and really focus on where the weight's at in your feet. And you don't have to go through the whole snatch. Just working on that pull will actually help getting into that triple extension and making sure that you have the weight in the right spot on the feet. Working up with some weight, challenging that position, obviously it's going to make it get better, but you definitely have to be sure that you're in the right position. Otherwise, you're practicing the wrong way. You don't want to do that, because then you're teaching yourself to pull the wrong way. The next thing that we would go over would be in triple extension. If you notice earlier, B was setting up and he's looking straight forward, right? You want your eyes to be on the horizon, not down at the ground, not up at the ceiling. One of the things that I used to do, and I see a lot, is whenever people going up to triple extension, they tend to use their head, neck, or upper back to try to get that bar back. That almost hyper overextension, the head whip. What that's going to do also is going to cause your hips to go forward a little bit more. It's going to bump that bar out. Again, it's going to be out in front. You're going to have to chase it down, right? So one way to try to alleviate that is actually just looking at something on the wall and trying to keep your gaze on it. So like right now, looking at that number 4 the whole time would be a good spot to be at. Boom. And obviously, like whenever you catch too, B, what do you feel like whenever you catch bottom of the snatch and you're looking down, you feel like the bar is going forward? Yeah. Normally wherever you're looking, that's normally where the bar is going to go. So if you're overextending, looking up at the ceiling, and then you catch it, a lot of times the bar is going to be too far back. And if you're looking down at the ground, a lot of times that bar is going to come forward and you're going to lose it there. So just practicing that again. Don't have to be fast. Just practice doing the pull or the snatch, lightweight, trying to fix where your head's at. Fix your head, get your head right. Next one would be, I would just say working on trying to use your hips fully and then keeping your arms as long as possible for as long as possible. So making sure that you're using or getting all the force out of your hips that you can before going into an early pull with your arms. So you want to try to make sure that your hips are extended before you try to pull the bar with the arms. Good. Right there, right? Knees, hips, toes, shoulders, all the way up there before bending the elbows. All right, B. You're going to do it from the front, make it look pretty. Bam! And then getting that pull. What tends to happen, I want to say like we should see this more with the clean, but it's really both. People almost turn it into like a hip snatch, trying to shorten that cycle so they can get under it a little bit quicker. Really, you need to be more patient. Yeah. Oop. Yeah. Just early pull. Let's see a snatch with an early pull, and then we'll do one with a good pull. Right?
So do me, then do it right.
Yeah. There you go. And if you're coaching this, you got to look like a good view to kind of catch this and see where they're at. It's right at the side. You can see where their hips are, and whenever they're about to where they need to be having their hips open, hips and elbows are right by each other, so you can get a good look at it. Got to have a good eye though. So that was a good one. All right. Not so good. What else, B? Can you think of anything else?
I think I covered it pretty much.
What about the catch, right? A lot of people kind of get lazy or relaxed in the shoulders whenever they're trying to catch, right? So shoulders forward, really trying to use like the traps and the anterior delts, to kind of hold the bar up. You definitely want to have or work on that overhead position to make sure you have that external rotation. You're using your scaps to support the weight. Your shoulders are down back instead of overusing those traps and anterior delts. That's not good. That's good, not good. Good, not good. Okay. And then staying active in that overhead position. If you have problems with the overhead position or shoulder pain, I would suggest not doing the snatch at all or with no weight until you get your mobility up to par with where you need to be at. to holding weight overhead. If you're not sure, go see a physio or a doctor, and they'll let you know. That's it. That's it. Making sure your hips are warmed up, shoulders are warmed up before doing this. Stretch out the pecs, roll out the lat. That's pretty much it. Oh, the traps, do those too. We'll post some videos on that. All right. We will see y'all later. Thanks, B.
Till next time.
Bam.